Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everyone. How's everybody
Hi.
doing?
Hi, good evening.
Hi,
Hi.
Sarah. Hi. Hi, Kwame.
You good? Good to see you.
Hi, Kwame.
Hey everyone.
Girls, this is Kwame Lestrade, who's going to be doing our session tonight, imparting his tremendous knowledge to you all. And that was Kev. Hi, Kev.
Hello.
All right. I think we still have girls coming in.
Hi, Kwame. This is Nicole.
Hello. This is Nicole. I can't
Hi,
see you.
girls. Everybody.
Oh, I see you.
All right. Okay, Kev, we have some polls. Well, let's jump right in. And whilst the other girls start, we give the other girls a chance to join. But let's start with our polls.
Yeah, definitely. So most of you all who have been to the sessions, you all know how this goes. So I'm going to post in chat. For the first question we want to know, just an opener, what country are you all from? And you all know how to do this already. So let us know what country you're from. Just for those who are new, click on the Mentimeter link in the chat. It's in the chat. Click on the link and it'll take you out to our webpage and you type in what country you're from. Let us know if you're in your having dinner, if you're on the couch. Nah, that's okay. We just want to know what country you're from. So we are seeing Dominica, Trinidad, Jamaica, Barbados. Hi, that should be Destiny. Hi, Destiny. Jamrock, Trinidad, Trinity to the bone.
Trini to the bone. Where the girls from Belize at? And Suriname. Dominica, welcome, Dominica. Suriname. We have Bahamas yet? Nobody yet from Bahamas. Okay.
Gem of the Caribbean Sea. I don't guess what that is, where that is.
Where that is?
Guyana, Guyana's here.
Yeah, woohoo! Welcome, Guyana. Amazon Warriors. Okay, then. I don't see anybody from Belize. I don't see anybody from Suriname yet. Let us see.
All right.
Okay. All right. I think we're good to go, Kev.
Plenty Chinese, plenty Jamaicans.
I'm not seeing anybody from Bahamas yet. So let's see. Turks and Caicos, anybody from TNC? Girls still coming in. Let's see.
Yeah, some are having a little issues, I'm guessing. But that's okay.
Yeah.
Take your time. Make sure your internet connection gets stable up.
All right. Great. I think we can go on to the next poll. Yeah.
Great. So this is the next poll we're going to start. We're asking what your expectations are for the session today. Thank you. Right, to learn a lot, learn to animate, fulfill new skills, to have fun, be informed, prepare. I like these responses. More understanding. Learn to animate, learn new tools. Have a grand time. Well, yeah, goes without saying, right? Learn about editing, learn about apps to edit. I like these answers.
Be informed, new skills, be encouraged, have fun, meet other girls. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's one of the things that we're hoping that some people will be meeting people here and you'll make new friends. We are one Caribbean region. With that said, we just want to keep in mind all of our Caribbean family in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and, you know, light a candle for them and hope that they'll be safe at this time.
For real.
Yeah.
So come on, ladies,
right.
just give us one word. Give us one word on what your expectations are. Again, remember these polls are completely anonymous, so we don't know who's saying what. That's fine. I mean, of course, keep it clean. Let's let us know. Put a one word if you can't think of anything grand or big to say. Have fun, skills, understanding, be informed. Great. All right. I guess we have a shy crowd tonight.
TGIF is the end of the week, Kev.
Probably. They're like, oh gosh, last day of holidays. They go back to
Oh, that's right. Today, it is the last day.
Don't worry, we're gonna have a fun session this evening. Don't worry.
For sure.
Okay, so the last one that we're gonna have, it's a new poll. Stop the share. All right, so we're asking you, have you ever made a short film or video or music video, or have you ever used any content creation tools? Let's let us know. Again, this will help our presenter greatly in knowing, kind of gauging where you all at. I mean, this could be your phone, anything like that. Doesn't have to be anything too fancy once you have an understanding, basic understanding of, short film could be 5 minutes, 2 minutes. Doesn't have to be anything great. So we have 11 versus 5. And so have you ever made a short video, short film or video or music video, or use any kind of content creation tools? It could be stuff on your phone tools, or on your computer if you're using that, or even if you put together like a collage, a photo collage with added sound, any of those kind of things. We just want to know.
Okay, we have 12 girls, 5 girls said no. All right, that means that we have 13 or about 10 girls who haven't responded. Have you ever made a short film video, music video, anything? A TikTok? How about a TikTok? I'm expecting to see this number go through the roof.
TikTok, what's that? That's a thing that Dazzy Suit used to have a long time, little. No?
No, Kevin, no. Get
Well,
with the program.
I
That's
guess they're
a
gonna have to tell me what a TikTok is.
TikTok.
Oh,
I'm sure a lot of them are doing TikTok videos.
yeah, I didn't know Apple and then I.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay.
Let's see if we can get.
Let's see if we can get to 15.
Come on, ladies, don't be shy. This is going to help us greatly in assessing where we are.
Yep. And what we need to do to give you guys more sessions, that's going to help you with your solutions for round 2. So this information is not just stuff that we like to do at the beginning of each session. We actually use it. All right, we have one more thing that we need them to do, right, Kev?
Yeah, sure.
Before we start the session.
Yeah. Do you want Kwame to jump in for, and then we could have the website up, and I can always share my screen if it's other thing.
Yeah. Okay. You mean you want to just share the screen now?
Yeah, sure. Okay. So, thanks, ladies, for participating in our polls. Kwame could always jump in and let me know.
Okay. All right, so I think I'm just going to start off by introducing our presenter for tonight, Kwame Lestrade. Welcome, Kwame. We are so happy to have you, and you've been such a wonderful supporter of Caribbean Girls Hack. So I just want to publicly thank you for all the time that you've spent in such a short time supporting our work.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. So everybody, we really are fortunate to have Kwame be with us this evening. Kwame is a filmmaker, and he is an award-winning writer and director of films Bail 2019 and Calm in 2015. So one of the things we want you guys to do is to go and check out the films, click like, subscribe, whatever it is that you normally do. But yeah, so Kwame is an award-winning director and writer of drama. He loves the process of continuing to develop directorial voice and allowing uncomfortable truths, to shape narratives. And he creates primarily for film and TV. So we are really, really in for a treat. And Kwame is an excellent communicator. I think that's one of your greatest strengths, Kwame. So I know the girls are in for a major treat.
No pressure.
No pressure. No pressure. No pressure. No pressure. So Kwame wants everybody we put it in the notice board, and I think Kevin has it up right. He wants you to download Comic Life. So Kev, you want to just tell the girls how to navigate that if you haven't yet done it.
So Kwame, I'm on the right track here, right?
This is it, Kwame?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Great.
All right, Kev, over to you.
I'll paste the link in the chat.
Yeah.
Go to your web browsers and bring this up. All right, just click on the link. It'll take you away from the Zoom for a second, but you'll be hearing my voice. All right, so we're going to download. All right, we're going to support and downloads. If anyone has any issues, you could just unmute, come back into the Zoom and unmute. Let us know. Right? If you're using a Mac, if you're using, sorry.
And that download is free, right? Okay.
Okay, so there's a 30-day trial from when you install it. It's not a big app. If you look on the page that I'm on, download, you see for Mac, if you have your Mac, for Windows, if you have Windows, right? There's first time installing. So go to that and you click it. Go ahead and click it. It brings up your
Okay,
you can know.
everybody in, you can just give a thumbs up if you got in. If you're having any technical issues, unmute and just let us know what are the issues that you're having. Okay, we see you, Adana. Great.
It's just follow the instructions, install it, and it will open.
Anybody else? All right, Karina has it. Excellent. All right, well, I think we're gonna just hand over to Kwame to start because I'm sure you'll have a little bit of time left to set yourselves up if you haven't done it yet. All right, over to you, Kwame.
Okay, thank you so much, Bridget and Kevin, and good evening, girls. Let's have some fun. And I really hope that by the end of this session, you feel really confident going forward to create your work. What we're going to focus on is pre-production. Does anybody have any idea what pre-production means? Does anybody want to be brave and unmute and tell me what pre-production means? Crickets. Anyone? Shall I guess someone? Shall I put someone on the spot? Okay. Oh, who's that?
Oh, hi, my name is Sanea. Pre-production is everything you do before you actually start filming, or everything you do before you actually start, I guess, making the thing.
That's a perfect action. So if you tell people that you're making a film, instantly they think you're going to pick up a camera, point it at something and start filming. But pre-production is everything that happens before that. So Sanea, you're exactly right. Why do we think pre-production is important? What's the purpose of it? Anybody else want to contribute?
I can, to ensure everything is done effectively.
Sorry, who's that? Oh, there's more pages of people. Sorry, I couldn't see that. Say that again, please.
Sorry, it's Sarah. To ensure that everything is done effectively and efficiently.
That's a very, very good answer. Imagine you rush off with a camera, but you don't know what you're going to film. So what pre-production does is it forces you to answer. They seem really easy, but they're actually quite difficult questions. Who, what, why, where, and when. All of these things are really important because you need to know who you're pointing a camera at. You need to know where they are. You need to know when you're going to do these things. You need to know why you're going to be pointing a camera at this person or this thing. And having all of those answers before you pick up a camera means that when you pick up a camera, you know exactly what you're doing, where you're going, how long it's going to take, and what you're going to get afterwards. So if assuming we do our pre-production beautifully well, what comes after pre-production? Does anyone know? The clue's in the name. Pre-production and then production. Any ideas? Production, thank you. After production, which is where you are holding cameras and microphones and you're rushing around and you're filming stuff, you're gathering content, or you're making your animation, you're doing the work. After you've done those things, what comes after production?
Editing.
Post-production.
What's the proper description of editing?
Post-production.
Post-production. So it's three main sections: pre-production, which means before; production, which means during; and post-production, which is after. And once you have these three steps organized in your brain and how they're going to work, I guarantee everything you do is going to feel a lot more structured and a lot less wild. All right. So I've asked everybody to download an app called Comic Life. Now, I know that none of you are planning to make comics, but does anyone have a guess why I find that piece of software really, really valuable in pre-production? Anyone work it out? Any guesses? Comic Life? How is a comic relevant to pre-production? Anyone want to have a guess?
It helps create a storyboard.
It gives you an instant storyboard, and the beautiful thing with Comic Life is that you can put text on, you can put words coming out of people's mouths, you can put descriptions so you know exactly what you're going to do. So you can actually walk with your comic storyboard before you go and shoot anything, before you go and start your animation. You have a plan. It's a really, really helpful way of creating a plan for what you're going to do. And it will save you so much time. It will be an awful lot of time. So for today, I want to make sure that you each know how to plan what you're going to do and to think about that plan now. And more importantly, know how you can go away after this session and create your real plan and change things and have new plans and adjust it. After that, I'd like to talk about the different ways in which you can do the things that you want to do, which is your docudramas, your music videos, and your animations. We can talk a little bit about how you're actually going to approach these tasks. And we'll touch on post-production. How are you going to put it all together afterwards? But right now, we're at the beginning, so let's launch into pre-production. Okay, I'm going to attempt to share my screen. Well, before I move on, does anyone have any questions? Is everybody good? And is everybody hearing me okay? Somebody give me a thumbs up if there's
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So if there are no questions, thank you for that, guys. I will attempt to share my screen. Hold on. Let's do it this way. Right. So you should be seeing something that says Science Project on the screen. Can everybody see that? If anybody can't see that, let me know in the chat. Let me come out of this actually. I'll show you how I got to this screen. I'll go back into Comic Life. Let me share this again. So when you enter Comic Life, you're given this template chooser. So Comic Life has a load of different templates, patterns. Some are fun, some are simple. If you look on the side, there's blank ones. There's things that look like certificates, creative bits and pieces like posters that you could make, education, which is good because it gives us the panels. You can see the different squares that look like storyboards. So, you know, if I were to choose, oh, let's see. Does anyone have any favorites? There's how to. Let's choose. Actually, do you know what I'll do? I'll choose a fun one and then show you how we can move things around. I might actually give you the task of moving things around. Let's do this one. Now, is everybody seeing this? Let me just check that the right screen is being saved. Can you see the big purple screen? Thumbs up if you can. No? Okay, let me just pop back into Zoom and make sure that the right screen is available. So, bring your shared window to front. All right, I'm going to try and share again, just a moment. Okay, is everyone seeing the big purple screen?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
we are now.
Fantastic. Okay, so this is the beginning of our plan, our comic, our story. title goes, you can see these little speech bubbles where you can put words in. There's little boxes to put words. There's little stars and various effects that you can put onto your comic. And on the top right over here, you can see the different types of pages that are available. So I think what we're going to do together is make a really, really quick comic and hopefully have an idea of how you can use this to plan your production, okay? Now, I went ahead earlier and found some images, and I chose the topic of protecting our oceans just because I think that's cool and it's a perfect one to use as an example. So can anybody give me a title for not your own project, but just imagine a brand new project that is focused on protecting our oceans, our oceans. What title could you recommend for me? Any ideas? Any offerings of a title to do with protecting our oceans?
You all know you can unmute and just interact. It's a really interactive open session.
Protecting our oceans. What about, okay, let's just call it blue water, unless anybody has a better suggestion. Surely somebody has a better suggestion than blue water. Any ideas? Any
That's fine.
That's fine, you think? Okay, we'll call it blue water. Why don't we call it blue water now? Because at least there's an urgency towards that. So all I did was click on the text and type in it, and suddenly our whole text has changed accordingly. Great, we've got a title for our thing. If you're making a music video, an animation, or a film, there are two really important questions. One of them is what we see, and the other thing is what we, any suggestions? What we what?
Here.
What we hear, exactly. If we focus on what we see and what we hear, we can't go far wrong. So can I have a suggestion of what we could see first? What's the first thing that we can see or we should see when we're talking about protecting our oceans on our project called Blue Water Now?
Probably a picture of ocean.
Why not? Why not? There's no reason to make it more complicated than it needs to be. Seeing an ocean is fine. So what I did earlier was download some pictures. Where have we gone? Here we go. So I've downloaded some pictures. I went onto Google and I searched for what I wanted, as I'm sure you guys can do already. So I don't need to sort of show you that step. And I found some pictures of oceans and all of the things in it. Let's start with, say this one here. So I've just dragged it and I've dropped it straight in there and it's in. It's a picture of a turtle and a plastic bottle. Okay, now you can drag it in directly from the internet into Comic Life, or if you're more organized, you can put it into a folder on your computer and then you can access it from within Comic Life. So wherever your pictures are saved, you should be able to access it from inside Comic Life or drag it. If there's any difficulties with that, let me know. You guys don't need to be doing this right now, but if you want to try, feel free. We can change the size of this picture by grabbing a corner of it and stretching it and moving it around. We can shrink it until we're happy with where it's placed. Just a second there. Hi. Okay. So this turtle, we're going to look at some of these words. If this turtle was going to say something to us, what do you think it would say?
Help.
Sorry? Say again?
Help.
Help. Perfect. So you just click on the words inside this bubble, you type help, and suddenly this turtle's saying help. But what's the problem? I can see that this box isn't really pointing towards the turtle's mouth. So what Comic Life allows you to do is adjust the box. You see the tip here? Can you see that? If I pull it down, now the turtle's saying help. And I think the turtle should be shouting help. So if we double click on the text up here at the top, we can make it bigger or smaller. I want it bigger, but it doesn't fit. So to make it fit, I can just stretch the size of the speech bubble so that it fits. So we're in control of every single aspect of this comic. Our turtle is asking for help. It's shouting help, and we're putting the words in. Now, what's great about this is that we can move this anywhere. I think that it might be easier if the turtle's words are coming down here, so it's not in the way. Let's try over there. So I can take the speech bubble and point it this way. Now the turtle is shouting help. Next picture, what could it be? Do you think you'll have a presenter or a human character talking to us, or do you think it would all be animals and pictures in the sea?
It could be.
Go on.
It could be humans, or could be, depending on what it is about. You could probably have a picture with garbage in the water or something.
Okay.
Turtle saying help.
Okay, so we've got a turtle saying help. I think that's a great idea. We want to know why the turtle is saying help. And just in case it's not clear, we can just drag another picture in there. Oh, no, there's no rubbish in that. So see what I did? I put in the wrong picture. How do I get rid of it? The easiest way is to just get another picture and drag it on top. And it will ask you if you want to replace the image, and you do that. And suddenly you can see that we have a new image, but I'm not sure that's the right one. Let's try this one. Here we go. And we can adjust the size. So we've got a lot of rubbish in the water. This is why the turtle is saying help. Okay, that's good. At the moment, we know what we're going to see first. If this is our docudrama or our animation or our presentation, we know that we're going to see a turtle first, and we're going to see the rubbish. So it's the problem and the species that is being affected by the problem. What do you think we should hear? Because a turtle can't say help. What should we hear? Who would speak? Any ideas? Would we hear a presenter? Would we hear one of you saying, we need to protect our oceans? This is what we can do?
Yes.
If that was the case, we don't need these words. Maybe we should change this before we move on. You see, we have a turtle saying help. We won't be able to hear that. Why don't we change it so that the turtle is thinking help? So we can change it for the thought bubble, and we could put help in there. That feels good.
Or maybe because
Go on.
Maybe because the turtle is going to eat the bottle, maybe you could change it. Instead of help, you can say, this looks yummy, or something like that.
Love it.
So it's
perfect. Thank you for that. So we could say, this looks yummy. Which is a tragic image because we know that it's rubbish, but the turtle doesn't know any better. And that's a very good way of highlighting the problem, because a turtle is just thinking about food. The thought bubbles, they don't need to go to the mouth, do they? They just need to be anywhere off here. So when we have a presenter speaking, sometimes we hear their voice without seeing their face. So even whilst we're seeing pictures of a turtle and polluted water, we could still be hearing someone's voice telling us about the problem. And that person would need a script, right? So right now, what would a presenter be saying right now, in your opinion? Let's put it in here. Any suggestions? Any suggestions? I'm going to start picking people from the list just to make sure that you're all still here with me. Oh, but you're lucky. How about Victoria Manik-Chand, are you there? Any ideas of what a presenter would be saying to an audience at this stage? No? How about John A. Davidson? Do you want to try and give me an answer?
I'm not really sure.
Okay, that's all right. Thank you for responding. So a presenter might say something like, the world's oceans are in trouble, because they're going to let us know what the problem is, right? The world's oceans are in, let's say, in big trouble. So they're helping us understand what the solution is. You see this LOL here. Do you think that fits? I think we need to get rid of that. That's not what this is about. So that sentence, the world's oceans are in big trouble, that's the first line of our script. So by the time we finish this, you'll have an idea of what we're going to see and what we're going to hear. The world's oceans are in trouble. I think it's time to see the presenter now, all right? And we can always adjust these things later. So we're going to have a new page. So the way I get a new page is over here on the top right. I can look and see which pages I want, and I can drag one. Oops, drag, hold on. Let me do it this way. I'll ask for a new blank page, and then I'll drag one onto it. So I now have another page. And we need a presenter. So I picked some images, and I've decided that maybe this could be our presenter, saying, what has she just said? She just said the world's oceans are in big trouble. What could she say next? Any ideas? What would be the second thing this presenter says? Let's give her a speech bubble.
Our oceans are polluted and we need to change that.
Perfect. Thank you for that. So let's make it nice and big. It doesn't matter if it's spilled out beyond the picture. Our oceans are polluted and we need to change that. So it's a very powerful statement. So that straight away, everybody knows what she's talking about. Everybody knows what the film or animation is going to be about, because we've hit the point straight away. Our oceans are polluted and we need to change that. Right, goodness. Let's imagine that this project is about recycling. That's probably the best way of limiting pollution to our oceans, right? So she'll probably say something else. So why don't we just use the same picture? Let's put another one of her in there, but let's make it a little bit different. Let's make it bigger so we can stretch it. So that's the first thing she said, is our oceans are polluted and we need to change that. I think that you're in the hackathon, the whole purpose of this is for you to give us suggestions of how we could change it. So if we're going to use recycling as the method, what should she be saying now? Any ideas? Something with recycling in it. Give me a sentence that has recycling at its heart.
Recycle will reduce the amount of garbage.
Okay, let's try that. Oh, I don't like this bubble. It's a bit clumsy. I'm going to get rid of this one and find a simpler one. Okay, this one here. Your words. Our oceans are polluted and we need to change that. And we'll say by recycling. And here is our plan. I think something like that works, right? So, does everyone feel that they understand how to add images to Comic Life? Is there anybody that isn't sure how I got this image into Comic Life? Anybody not sure about how we add words to Comic Life? Using this panel at the bottom, we can just choose our boxes and our bubbles, and suddenly we can build up what people say. Right now, I'm going to go at fast speed just to complete this page, and then we can talk about the other things we can do. So she wants to talk about recycling. Let's say that she wants to create something like this. Bam. This is a picture from India where they have really intense recycling programs going on. So maybe she's saying next, even though we don't see her, we're seeing this. Maybe she's saying, we in the Caribbean. Why is it saying that that's spelled incorrectly? Anyway, should be recycling just like they do in parts of India. And what else? Let's expose some of the companies that are doing the most polluting. Let's throw one of those in. This is a picture that's telling us which companies do the most polluting in the world. So let's just have a little sentence on that. I'll add another speech box down here. Where is it? I'll copy this one and then change the text. And move OMG. We'll say, and we have a plan for how companies can help. And if we have a really, really simple comic, let's say it's only going to be 2 pages, and yours could be 10, it could be 20 pages. We're going to turn it from somebody who's really upset to people that are really happy. And we could say that this young child is thinking, what would a baby, if a baby could really communicate and understand what was happening to the planet, how would they feel? What would they say? Any ideas?
I think they'll just be crying if they're a baby that can't really speak.
No, but if they could, what would they say?
They could probably say, think about the future, think about my future, what this means for my future.
Great, think about my future. And maybe this last image here doesn't work. So I'm just gonna drag another one in its place. Think about my future. Is there one with any more smiling kids? What's that one? No, not that. All right, I'll leave this one here. And these girls here who are happy, imagine they're possibly imagining a future that is protected. Think about my future. Our future depends on you. Something like that, just for the sake of speed. I'm imagining if you were doing this topic and you were creating a Comic Life storyboard to plan your production in pre-production, you would probably have more pages. You would probably talk about the plans that you have yourselves as a team for creating improved recycling, for cleaning up the oceans. You could, if you weren't sure what you were going to do, you could simply grab some more pictures and throw them in to help yourself think about them. So you could just drop pictures in to help spur some ideas. These are various ocean cleanup operations that are going on around the world. And what's great about pictures is they actually help your imagination come up with words and stories and think about things to say. So by the end of this, if you printed off this comic or if you had it on your phone, when you go to pick up a camera, you know that, okay, you're probably not gonna be filming turtles or filming pollution in the ocean, but you can find those images on the internet, just like I did, or even video clips. You'll probably be filming your presenter, right? So this one right here is where you're gonna need a camera. This one here, you'll need a camera. These images you can find on the internet. These here, wouldn't it be wonderful if you could find a real baby to look like they're about to cry? And this picture here could be you guys talking about it. And you could all have something to say. Imagine if you all said this together. You could do something like this. And have, hold on, you should be able to have another one of these. Just a sec, I'm gonna do this again. There is a way of having another point come out of the speech bubble, but I can't find it right now. So you can create really powerful messages by just adding pictures, adding words, and it will give you a really clear idea of what your actual film is going to look like. How does that sound to you? Do you have any questions about Comic Life or how it's used? Hello, anyone have any? Does everybody feel that they can go ahead and make a storyboard now using Comic Life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you have a question. Or yes, you have a question, or yes, you feel like you can do it.
Yes, I feel like I can do it.
Does anybody not feel like they can do it or have a question? There's no such thing as a silly question. We all want to learn together. So if there's something you're not sure about, now's the time to ask me. Okay, actually, and let's answer this with a thumbs up. If you have been able to download the trial version of Comic Life, give me a thumbs up.
Which version of Comic Life? Can you repeat that, please?
The trial version, the free one that Kevin was just talking about. If you've been able to download that, give me a thumbs up. So we have 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it seems like not everybody has it yet. Or if you have it, perhaps you haven't opened it yet. Is there anybody that's having difficulty accessing it or downloading it? Show me with a thumbs up if you're having difficulty getting it. Shania, okay. So, so is Kevin still here?
Yeah.
Okay, so at some point, if you put in the chat, if you're having difficulty downloading it, Kevin can possibly help you make sure that you can have the software operating on your screen. So, so just as a show of hands with thumbs up, who is doing a docudrama? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 5 of you currently, perhaps a couple more that I can't see are doing a docudrama. Does anybody want to tell me what a docudrama is? Or what it means to you, rather? Anyone?
Go ahead and unmute and say Sanea.
A docudrama is an, I don't know how to, what's the word I'm thinking of? I just had it in my head, but it's exaggerated, right? It's an exaggerated production of real life events.
Okay, good, good. That's a pretty good explanation. Let me ask a different question. So the word docudrama comes from documentary and drama. Does everybody know what, does anybody want to tell me what the difference between documentary and drama is? What's documentary? If we start there.
Is all facts and like interviews, like usually sit down, etc. Whereas a docudrama is reinterpretation of it, I guess you would say.
It's a
Okay, so
dramatized version.
perfect. So a drama is a movie or a TV show where you have actors playing parts. A documentary doesn't necessarily have actors unless the actors are speaking as themselves. But a documentary is something factual, something real, relating to real events. And the footage around it might be of real events too. And whereas a drama, somebody has recreated a scene between characters or recreated an event for effect. So to bring those two words together, a docudrama suggests to me that we have some people talking about facts and we have some created elements to help exaggerate these facts so that we understand them better. So the drama serves the documentary. So what would we see and hear in let's imagine a docudrama about saving the ocean. I know that not all of you are doing that subject, but we're just going to use it as an example. What would be the documentary part of a docudrama?
All the oceans have been affected and what's been done to prevent further damage.
Say that one more time.
How the oceans have been affected and how they have, and what they have put in place to prevent further damage or to counteract damage.
That's great. So it's the facts. What has gone wrong and what can be done to fix it. So we're talking about facts. Now, it might be quite difficult to imagine what you could dramatize to support those documentary facts. What might the drama part of a docudrama look like, talking about saving the oceans? Any ideas? And it could be anything. It can be as creative as you like. What could it be?
I guess you could include the same pictures that was featured here. But of course, you make it more dramatic, and you animate it and probably got some video acting out or emphasizing the point of saving the ocean or something.
Okay, thank you, Narissa. So I like the end part of that. You have people acting it out. Let's get more specific. Now, you have the first point, which is our oceans are in trouble and we need to save it. What do you tell your actors to do? What do they say? What do they do? What do they say? What are the words that come out of their mouths? Any ideas, anyone? Shall I start you off with an example? Imagine I have this mosquito repellent tin made of metal and plastic, and it's empty now. But I'm an actor on a docudrama, and I just throw it in the sea. I just throw it away irresponsibly. And there's another character. What could that other character come and tell me after they've seen me do this?
Probably something really dramatic, like you're gonna kill all the turtles.
Good. What else could they tell me?
They could probably include some scientific or statistical information, like how much ever % of turtles die by these kinds of practices every year, every month or something.
Great. And then I could say, yeah, but I don't care about turtles. I don't care about turtles. What could they say to me?
They could explain how that action also affects them, and not just the sea life, but how it's affecting every individual.
Very good. And then I say, okay, but look, there's rubbish everywhere. No one's gonna care about one more can. What do they say?
Every can contributes to the damage.
Great. So straight away, right now, in front of your face, you've just created a drama. You've created a conflict between two characters with different ways of thinking. And through that drama, you can really engage audiences and educate audiences on how to behave, right? And it's much more interesting than having a presenter telling us this stuff. You could tell us all of this stuff in the documentary part. Our oceans are in trouble. Every can contributes to rubbish. Even if you don't care about turtles, other people do care about turtles. So please consider other people. You could do all of that in the documentary side, but you've run the risk of it being quite boring, which is why the category of docudrama is there to allow you to make it exciting, to make it memorable, and to make it effective, more effective. So you have a choice of the things that you say in documentary and the things that you dramatize to make sure that they're easy for everyone to remember. Okay, so that's what you see and what you hear. There's other things that can come into a docudrama. Somebody mentioned statistics. Now, I don't know about you, but when people are telling me statistics, they sort of go in one ear and out the other. What's a better way of making people understand statistics?
To provide a visual.
Brilliant. What kind of visual? Any ideas?
I'd probably like draw it out like a diagram.
Diagrams are good. You know, personally, I love cake. So if there was a cake and I could see a percentage of the cake and the cake represented the ocean, and I realized that the ocean is currently this much rubbish, and if we keep going the way we're going, it would become that much rubbish, and it was explained in cake, I'll understand anything in the world if it's explained with cake. But other people have other ways of understanding things, and it's your job to find something that's really creative and that you think audiences will love as much as I love cake, right? So we have video, we have audio, and we have visual aids, which I've seen in your guys' pictures. You know, you're already across all of this stuff. What else do you think we need to organize before we start production? Because we're still planning, we're still in a pre-production. What else do you think we need to organize? I have a question. This presenter over here, who is she? Who's going to do that? Do you know in your team who the presenter or presenters will be? Does it have to be somebody in your team, or could it be someone else? If you're making an animation, does the presenter even need to be human? The presenter could be a turtle. The presenter could be a fish. The presenter could be anybody. The presenter could be this baby, in theory. You know, imagine something funny with this kid and the mouth opens and closes like they do with those Instagram filters my children like. You know, and the baby is your presenter saying all of this stuff. The whole world of creativity is your option. It doesn't have to be a person at all, but that's for you to decide with your teams how you're going to approach every single aspect. Imagine animating a docudrama. Of course you can do that. It will be called an animation, but imagine if the argument with somebody throwing this into the sea is done with characters that aren't human. It really is your whole, you have the whole world to choose from. And so you really need to tap into your creativity to make sure that your work is fresh and your ideas are fresh and that you don't all run away and do the same thing. See what I mean? So do we understand the difference? Show me with hands. Do you understand the difference between documentary, which is the real stuff, and drama, which is the creative stuff? Do we understand that? Oh, it seems like only one person understands. Oh, two. Okay, I'll give you two. And do we understand that? And in animation, you can do all of the same things that you would do with real people, but you still need to have a plan for what they're going to say. Are we okay with that? Who's doing animation? Actually, show me with a thumbs up, please. There's one animation, 2, and 3. Okay. In your animations, what are you using to make those animations? What software, or is it stop motion? Is it digital? Let me know. Lee, what animation are you doing? How are you making your animation? Or Victoria? What software are you using? Hello, you can unmute. Anyone doing animation there? If you're feeling too shy to speak, put up your hand so I know that, so I'll stop harassing you.
I'm doing animation, but I haven't found my softwares yet.
You haven't found the software, okay. What I'll do, because I know that time is going to run faster than we planned, just for the people that are doing animation, there are some free apps that you might enjoy, which I'm just going to pop into the chat. Oh, I'm not sure if I can chat whilst screen sharing. Can I, Kevin, can I chat while screen sharing?
Sorry, I missed that. What's that? You're breaking up a little bit.
Am I able to chat whilst screen sharing?
Are you able to chat while screen sharing?
Yeah.
Yes,
No,
you
it
can
doesn't
come
look
up.
so.
Yeah, just bring up your chat window.
I can't see it at all.
Right. Small update. I am also having issues from the website. Maybe it's down for a little while. So ladies, you could try it a little later. I have already posted a download link on the notice board. So maybe try a little later. I know you all have experiencing issues to download the Comic Life 3 program. I'm getting some issues, so don't worry.
I'm just adding to the chat free apps for animation. There's one called Jellycam, which I quite enjoy, which I've used a lot with my kids. And on your, has that entered the chat yet? Oh no, that's a direct message. Hold on, let me try again. Hi.
Hi. We're getting some static coming through. I don't know if it's your headphones or what, but there's some static.
Sorry, okay, just a sec. Let me change to a different audio, just a moment.
And yeah, you're muted now. Yeah, probably just
You're muted.
Okay, how's that sound? Hello, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's sounding. Yeah, it's sounding better. Just a little hollow. I don't know.
All right, let me go back to this one. Just a second.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that one is a choppy one.
This is choppy.
Let's see.
Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, that
7,
one is
8, 9,
choppy. Yeah,
10.
that one is choppy.
For me, the other source is better.
Yeah, the other source is better, but it
And
picks
some
up
echo. There's echo on it, which is fine. It's probably coming from your speakers, yeah.
Yeah.
You have reverb on
So
it.
that, yeah, I have you in my ears now, but now it's the computer hearing me instead of the headset.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's a little hollow,
but this is a lot better.
That's clearer. Yeah, that's a lot better, for sure.
Oh, guys, were you able to hear any of that before then? Is that why no one was answering?
I don't think so,
Okay.
but we can definitely hear you better now.
All right. Let me, I'm just adding this to the chat. So there's some free apps for animating. There's one called Jellycam. Now, on your computers, there are often cameras on the top, webcams. And what you can do is what I used to do with my kids is use plasticine or cut out characters on paper, and you place the character, press the picture, move it a bit, press it again, and it assembles a stop motion animation. There's something called Movely, which I've not used for digital animation, and that's free as well. And you make it in the cloud, so you don't actually need to download any software, if I'm correct. So Movely and Jellycam are some free animation versions. I would advise you go on YouTube and have a look and see which one you feel most comfortable with. I think it's probably going to be Movely, because it seems to behave in a similar way as Comic Life, but in animation, which seems quite good. So for you animation folk out there, you still need to do the same pre-production. You still need your storyboard, you still need your Comic Life plan, and from that you'll have your script. You'll know what you're gonna say, and you know when you're gonna say it and in what order, and then you can use one of these free apps. Who amongst you is doing a music video? No one's doing a music video? No? Hello? Bridget, are there people doing music videos?
Yes, we do have some people doing music videos.
Oh, there's one that coming
Somebody,
up.
one reluctant thumbs up.
Okay, are there any more people doing music videos, because they deserve a slightly separate section? Okay, so Lee, it's you one doing music videos as far as I can see. And for music videos, the same process is necessary. We need to know what we're going to see, and we need to know what we're going to hear. So in your music video, you know, people think that it's just filming people standing up and singing or rapping in lots of different places, trying to look cool, right? That's one way of looking at music videos. But there are some really good music videos out there that have a story. So actually, for me, the best music videos, they have somebody looking cool singing, but they also have drama. They have somebody acting out the things that relate to the lyrics of the song. So it might be surprising to learn that the skills needed for a music video are very, very similar to those needed for the drama element of a docudrama. Please try and tell a story that relates to your lyrics in your music video. Drama is drama is drama. You might find that the same drama works in a docudrama as would work in a music video. So it needs the same care and attention. Does that make sense, Lee? Yeah, Narissa, are you doing a music video too?
No, I'm actually doing the docudrama.
Okay, docudrama. So, you know, drama is everything. I mean, you know, I love the idea that drama finds its way into documentary, that it finds its way into music video, and most of animation is actually drama, because drama is how we sort of understand life. And so give it some really good attention. Maybe watch some dramas and work out how you want to approach your work. What are the other modalities that are missing? So we've done music videos, we've done docudrama, we've looked at animation. Is anybody doing something that's not one of those three things? No? Does that match up with what you have, Bridget?
Yes, we have.
So is everyone,
well, I don't know if there's some girls who are making a distinction between docudrama and short film.
okay, is everybody, who thinks they're doing a short film? Nobody? Okay, so docudrama, short film, we're using interchangeably, it's the same thing. You know, it's
Yeah,
just what
but I'm curious because we've got very few animation people on, very few docudrama and short film, and one music video. So what's everybody doing? You need to tell us, because we don't, we have very few people doing certain modalities. So tell us so that we can, if anything, you know, introduce.
Okay, so somebody's doing, Lee said she's doing an animated music video. So you're putting them all in there. Good. So an animated music video has animation, music, and
Excellent.
drama. And anybody else?
If you don't want to speak, just write it in the chat. I know you guys are good at the writing in the chat. But we really are curious because we're not getting a lot of people saying that they're doing the 3 modalities. So I'm interested in knowing what it is that you are doing so we can make sure that whatever we're telling you or teaching you is going to work for you, right?
Okay, docudrama is coming through.
Just write what you're doing in the chat, guys, so we can know that we're on the right track, please. That's all we're asking.
Docudrama. Okay, some people haven't chosen yet. Animation.
Okay, so we do have quite a few people, great, doing animation. We thought we only had a few. All right, docudrama, more docudramas coming up, great.
Good. Okay, so that means that it's still very
Still on track, yes.
We're still on track.
Still relevant. It's just that they were not telling us.
Yes. Okay. Good. I was a bit scared for a minute. Okay. Good. So pre-production. Let's just go back to what our function is here, because some of you don't know which software you're going to choose, and others have yet to decide which modality they're going to choose. Just a moment. I'm sharing the wrong thing, just a moment. Okay, so back to pre-production. We want to know who, what, why, where, and when before we pick up the camera. All right. For the docudrama people, are you majority filming this on your phones? If so, just give me a quick thumbs up. Or if you're filming on your phone, give me a thumbs up. Okay. If you're okay, there's more. So the majority of you are filming it on your phones. If you're editing it on your phone, give me a thumbs up. Okay, one person's editing it on your phone. 2. If you are using a camera, a more professional camera, or somebody's helping you, give me a thumbs up. So you really are doing it for yourselves. I love it. Okay, for the, I'm curious about the people that are going to be filmed. For those of you doing a docudrama, are the actors going to be people within your team, or are you going to engage people from the wider community, friends, family, community members? If
It's
you're
a mixture.
It's a bit of both. It's a bit of both.
Yeah, it's a bit of both. Mixture.
I'm really happy to hear that, because, you know, there's a temptation to want to do everything yourself, but if you have people who are really out in the community involved, it's working already, because you're spreading your message and having other people help spread your message for you. So well done for involving as many people as possible to help. Now, pre-production wouldn't make sense if you didn't. Pre-production is to teach you what's going to happen during production, but it also requires you to know what happens in post-production, which is after you've finished filming. So post-production means editing. Do you guys have a plan for how you're going to edit this stuff together? Do you have software that you're going to use? If you have got software that you plan to edit with, tell me what that is.
Well, our
No?
team, and during our pitch, we featured just a little sneak peek of what we were working on, and we were using a software called Vimeo, but we're not so sure if that's going to be the software we're sticking with, or we're gonna use something else. But so
Did
far,
you say Vimeo?
yeah,
Okay.
I don't know if it's Vimeo or some other. I think it's that's the name of it.
Yeah, I use Vimeo. And was that to do animation or was it to edit video clips together?
Well, since it was a bit of a sneak peek, we use it to just edit films together, not animation.
Okay, okay, that's good. Vimeo is free. It's a powerful platform. It's good. Has anybody ever used professional editing software like Final Cut Pro, DaVinci Resolve, Premiere Pro? Has anybody ever used those before? If so, tell me.
I've used iMovie on my laptop.
Okay. Has anybody else used iMovie?
I have.
Okay, iMovie is quite powerful. I used to use iMovie once upon a time. I'm gonna add to the chat some free editing software. iMovie is actually quite difficult to get because I think you have to pay for it. It used to come free with the Macs, but the ones I wanted to add for you were something called DaVinci Resolve, which if you used iMovie, you'll be able to use DaVinci Resolve. And what's the other one? Sorry, I had it up here. Oh, there's something I found today actually called Animaker. Now it sounds like it's for animation, but I think it's actually for video. I've not used Animaker, so if it's not the right thing, forgive me, but I know that DaVinci Resolve is the right thing. I'm just going to share this in the chat. Kevin, if you do that lovely thing where you just posted the links, that was really helpful. Thank you. So part of being prepared in pre-production is to know roughly what you're going to do in production and roughly what you're going to do in post-production. People are going to film on their phones. Have you ever run out of space on your phone before?
Yeah.
Man, I tell you, it happens, and you just get a bigger phone next time and then you run out of space. So what it does is it requires you to be organized about making sure you have enough empty space on your phone, because if the phone is full, what does that mean? Does that mean the mission is over? We have to be prepared for that. So part of pre-production is backing up the things that you need from your phone, deleting the 25,000 selfies from your phone, and especially those, I don't know what they are, they're these animated photos where you kind of, what are the ones where you go back and forward? Boomerang? Is that what it's called? Anyway, those things take up a lot of space. So try and clear enough space for yourself as possible so that you can get your video off your phone to a device. Now, has anybody ever transferred a large video from their phone to a computer before?
Yes,
No?
and that takes really long to get done.
So how do you do it? Do you email it to yourself?
Well, I don't think the email allows a certain amount of it only gives you a particular amount of storage, so you can't sign like really large files. So most likely I would have to use Bluetooth or share it to get that done. So sorry, there's a Bluetooth feature on the computer that allows you to Bluetooth stuff from your phone to the computer.
Does anybody else have a similar problem, or have you solved it in a similar way with something like Bluetooth? What's the pain point for transferring footage from your phone to a computer? So do any of you back up your phones by plugging it into the computer so you can back up all of the pictures and save them all Does anybody do that?
I have a MacBook, so like I just like airdrop stuff from my phone like onto my thing, or sometimes they're connected, so I don't have to do that. So that was kind of like a plan we were gonna use.
AirDrop is really effective. It's probably the most effective because it keeps a lot of the quality as well. AirDrop's very good for people who are in the Mac world. For people who are not in the Mac world, are sort of on Android phones like the Galaxy or whatever people use nowadays, plugging the phone in and actually backing up the phone using whatever software is there. So for iPhone users, you go to iTunes, you plug the phone in, and it says back up your iPhone. And so you know that anything you delete from your phone, you already have a copy of it on your computer. You've saved it, you won't lose it. For Android phones, there is a way of doing the same thing. And if you're serious about using your phone to film, it's your responsibility to make sure that you've backed up your stuff, because running out of space is not really the right rhythm for people who are making films in this way. So please try and take care of how much space you have available to you. Also on Android phones, I know that you have a possibility of putting additional storage into the phone. So if that's a possibility, try and consider getting additional storage somehow. Is that okay? Any questions about transferring footage from a phone to a computer? Any questions?
I could just drop in for a sec. There's a nice feature on your Windows, those who have Windows 10, called Your Phone. It's an app on your phone which you can link your Android phone or Windows phone or whatever directly, and it uses your Wi-Fi to connect. So I mean, downloading stuff easy with that.
Good. Thank you. Something like that's perfect, but you don't want to be finished filming and then work out how to do that. You want to be confident when you're filming that you're going to be able to get your stuff across. Okay, now look, have any of you ever listened to a radio? Of course you have, right? You hear a radio probably every day or in a car. And that's just sound with no picture. How many of you watch films with no sound? You turn the sound right down and you just watch the film. Anybody ever do that? It's kind of rare, right? You wouldn't do it, which teaches us that you can have, if all you have is sound and no picture. Oh, Narissa watches a film with no sound. But if you have sound on the radio and no picture, I can follow, I can be engaged, I can be entertained, but it's not quite the same if I'm watching a program on TV, but the sound is down. I'm having to lip read and try and work out what's going on. It's a real challenge. And the reason I'm teaching you this is because sound is something that people forget about until the last minute. Sound is really, really important. So if you're doing a documentary and you're interviewing people, or you have a presenter speaking, making sure that we can hear that person or those people well is super, super important. It's almost more important than the picture, because if the picture was bad, but you had good sound, you could just show a picture of a turtle and we still hear it well. So getting good sound is really important, which means that you need to think about where you're recording, how close the recording device is to the person. Is it going to be on the other side of the room, or is it going to be up where they can hear a person clearly? Is there something else happening in the room? Is there a washing machine going, or a fan going, or a fridge, or somebody playing music next door? What am I going to hear in addition to the voice? Similarly, with the drama, we need to hear people. You know, we really need to hear what's going on. And it's just as important for animation, you know? So think about sound. In an ideal world, it might be overcomplicating it, but let's say you want to video somebody about this far away, right? You want to use your phone here and point it at them and film it, and they're about as far away as I am now. But actually, to get good sound, I need to put my phone here. What I personally would do is use two phones, one to do the video and one to do the sound. And I would put the phone in the person's pocket and do a voice recording because this distance will mean my sound will be much better than over here where I was filming before. So try and always think about how something sounds. It's super, super important, and you'll really notice the difference between presentations that have good sound and presentations that have bad sound. Does that make sense to everybody? Anybody have any sound questions?
I had one with the docudrama. Inclusive of filming your own thing and so on, can you also include like you know, some other videos or so on, like with the same oceans thing, if you could include like oceans or something or within that short film?
So unless there's I'm assuming that everything that you present for the hackathon is Creative Commons. So if it's on the internet, you can borrow it for the purpose of your presentation and you don't have to pay for it. And it's used on a share and share alike basis. Is that correct, Bridget or Kevin?
Yes, we're using the Creative Commons.
Okay, so what that means is
open source.
Okay, so what it means, as far as I understand, is that you can use whatever is available that appropriately meets your requirements. So if you see something and you want to borrow that piece of footage, borrow it. One challenge can be downloading footage from YouTube or wherever you get it from. Has anybody downloaded videos from YouTube before? It's something that, so I do it and I use a paid software for it called Wondershare. And Kevin, is there a free app for getting videos off YouTube?
There used to be some really nice ones like Vidly. And what I use now, it's online a downloader. So I'll paste the link for them.
Please do, because once you can, you know, if you go through the effort of finding a video that you really like and you just want to borrow that section in the middle, not the beginning, not the end, but I love that section, but you can't download it, what do? So hopefully this link with from Kevin will mean that you can just download the whole video and then afterwards take out the bit that you want. So good. Anybody else had any challenges downloading content from YouTube? And just think, you know, what's wonderful, if you watch documentaries or even docudramas, you'll see that there's such a variety of shots. You could have a big, expansive aerial shot from an aeroplane of an ocean. You could have even a shot of the world, you know, from space. You can be anywhere and be everywhere because you can borrow footage from a multitude of sources. And you can mix that in with whatever your presenter or animated presenter is saying. So please try and think outside the box and work out how you can make your voice unique and how you can make your presentation unique. Any questions about taking footage from the internet or understanding what to take, or are you okay with that? Okay, if you have any questions, jump in. Right, we've done docudrama. Hold on. Okay, pressure. You guys are going to be working in teams. Do you have in your teams specific roles? Does anybody want to tell me how their team is broken up to make sure that everybody gets a chance to shine? Or you haven't divided roles yet for who's going to do what?
We haven't necessarily divided roles. More so just listening to everybody's input and what they'd prefer to do.
Okay, I'm gonna throw some roles at you. You could write it down if you want, because eventually somebody's going to need to make specific decisions, and sometimes those decisions they need to be made by one person because you end up with too many cooks. So for example, if one person wants to operate the camera all the time and somebody else also wants to operate the camera all the time, how are you going to make that work? So a simple solution is that you share it. You know, you understand, you go back to your storyboard and you think, okay, I have page 1 and page 2. And let's say all of the bits that need to be filmed on page 1, I'm going to film. All of the bits that are going to be filmed on page 2, you're going to film. And suddenly you have a plan, and everybody that wants to do things can feel that they're having a chance to do them. What about organizing where people should be and what's in the background? Is there somebody that's going to decide where something will be filmed? Who does that? Or do you do it together? Does anybody know the role of a producer? Anybody want to tell me what that is?
Hey, Kwame,
Okay.
yeah, Giselle,
Hi.
sorry, Gabrielle did a really nice session on earlier this week on all those rules and stuff. I will put it up tonight, the video, so you all can look at those kind of things. I mean, we have all these links on our notice board that can really help them. It's for them to actually go and look at it. So I just wanted to interject that part.
Thank you. It saves me doing it. It's really good. It's so important. And just because you choose to be one role doesn't mean you have to stay in that role. You know, you can choose to be a producer for what happens on day 1, and maybe a director for day 2, and maybe a camera person for day 3, and maybe an editor for day 4. Maybe you swap around. Maybe your strengths are different or new strengths emerge. But have a look at what those roles are. And it will give you a clue of the different types of things that will need to be taken care of. But really, you know, the most important part for me is pre-production. It really is, because it means everybody has a roadmap of where you're going. So I would love to know that you're using something like Comic Life to plan what your presentation is going to be, because it brings it to life in quite an exciting way. Listen, so I'm going to ask again, just in case anybody wants me to run through Comic Life again and make something really quick live with you. Hands up if you feel you want to see what else Comic Life can do. If you do, then I will I'll run through it. If not, then I'll just take your questions. If you're satisfied that you understand it, that's fine. Narissa, you want to see it again? Anybody else?
What else would you be showing on it?
Well, good question, actually. Maybe I'll show you the beginning of it. What Comic Life has is different templates, and we looked at one that was very bright and very colorful. The other benefit of Comic Life is that it has templates that look a lot more serious. Hold on, there's some certain things in my way. So if I, for example, try and pick a new template, can you see this screen? No, you can't. Just a moment, I'll fix that. Okay, so all of these templates here can really make your pre-production shine in different ways. The one that's probably most like a film storyboard is this one here on the top left. Can you see where it's the panels and all of the text goes at the bottom? And it's It's a little dull, it's a little dry, it's a little boring, but actually it's still very effective. The other thing that I don't want you to waste time on, but it's fun, so I waste time on it myself, and we're only human, is using some of the filters, because I know how people love filters. So let's say I'm going to click on this one for a moment. I'm going to drag some images in that I have waiting around here. And I'm just going to play with a filter. So on the left here, you'll see something called styles. Where is it? Sorry, on the top even, there's something called styles. And if you click on it, you can change the style of the photo. Where is this? This one isn't giving me styles, just a second. Right, so I can make it look like this, more like a comic. I can make it a bit more artsy. And this is a great way of wasting time that doesn't do anything for your production, but it's actually quite fun. And unless it's part of how you're choosing to display your work, it's just another thing that Comic Life can do if you ever have any other stories to tell. This is my favorite baby picture, by the way. I love this little guy. Hold on. So this could be called the comic styles. So that's it. When you're ready to add a new page, you can just right click and say new blank page, and then choose another template from the top right. And then you can just go ahead and drag in pictures at will and add your text. Everything that anybody says, we need to see it here. Anytime somebody's speaking, take a photo of them if you like, or it could be yourself, put it here. And eventually you'll have a really attractive and clear plan for your animation, your docudrama, your music video, or your, what's the other thing? Animation, docudrama, music video, or I think that's it. So it's really quick, really easy. I advise you to get stuck in. I know that time is ticking, and are there any other questions to do with anything at all that you think I might be able to help you with?
Do you have any tips for when we're actually editing together all the cuts?
Is there a time limit to the duration of your final piece? Is there a time limit, Kevin or Bridget?
I'm waiting
It's
on
5
something.
minutes. 5 minutes.
Say 5 minutes. Okay. So, okay, my process for editing, I'm an editor. So first of all, I don't worry about time. I just tell the story. What do I want to see first? I look at my pre-production plan. Hopefully that pre-production plan gives me an idea whether I'm going to go over or under 5 minutes. Once I get my footage, I organize it into a folder and I bring it into my software in the same order that it appears. So I know that we're going to see, for example, this baby first, then the woman next, then the other baby next. And I just tell the story as if I have all of the time in the world. And my most important thing to think about is, am I getting the message across? So let's say you're happy, you got the message across, but it's taking 7 minutes and you need to trim 2 minutes off there. That's where it gets hard. That's where you have to work out, okay, if I take this section away, does it damage my message? Some things are essential to keep, other things they're nice to have, but they're not essential to making sure your message comes across. You could tell your presenter to speak a little more quickly, but you don't want them to be speaking so quickly that you can't understand them. Also, if you're borrowing footage from YouTube, how long do we need to see a dolphin swimming in the sea for to understand that it's a dolphin swimming in the sea? If you decide you want to have 30 seconds of dolphin swimming in the sea, I would say cut that down to 5 seconds. And in those 5 seconds, use 5 different dolphins in the sea. Bam, 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 bam. That's much more impactful. We remember it. We know what a dolphin looks like, and it saved you 25 seconds if the original clip was 30 seconds. You have to be really stingy with every single second on screen to make sure that your point comes across. If you're using text on screen, you have to remember that your audience needs time to read it. So try and keep text really short. If you look at Olivia's screen holder, I don't know if you can see it on the screen, it says, be strong, be brave, be fearless. Something that's really easy to read, that would need to be on screen for 5 seconds, because nobody really reads much in less than 5 seconds unless it's one word. Imagine if you have a whole long piece of text on the screen. If you have a whole load of text on the screen, the reality is that you probably have too much text, and you need to find a way of saying all of that with just a few words. And all of those things help control how much time you need. And eventually you'll start to shorten things, pull things out, replace things, so that your final film is within the allotted time. But so in answer to your question, you tell your whole story, don't worry about time, see what you've got, and then work out how you can remove the bits that are taking you over the time. Does that answer your question a little?
Yes, thank you.
Any other questions about pre-production, production, or post-production? Everybody feeling confident? I'm expecting some great work. It's you know, it's challenging, and if it was easy, then everybody would be doing it. You guys are doing this work because you're special and you deserve to be excellent at this work. And I know that after this, you're going to go and look at these bits of software and work out how you can be excellent and continue being excellent going forward. So, you know, it's a real privilege for me to just have some time with you. If you have any more questions that you think of, just raise a hand and I'll be here. But I'm really, really excited to see what you guys come up with, because it's so important. It's important because of the subject matter, but it's important because you're doing it, your voice that is bringing these issues to light. So, so frankly, I love it. I really love what you're all involved in. I'm really grateful to Bridget for inviting me. Hey, Bridget.
Hi. A couple of the girls were commenting in the chat saying we're not seeing what you are seeing. I think you were looking. Is it Nasia and Lee? What was it that you were saying you weren't seeing? What Kwame just did? Are you interested in him showing you again?
What was it?
I'm waiting on one of them to open their mic and tell us.
When he was demonstrating the filter for the original thing, we weren't see. I wasn't seeing when he was doing it.
Thank you.
A filter. Oh, okay.
Okay, thank you for telling me that. I'll show you that now very quickly for those that didn't see it. So are you seeing lots of babies on screen now?
Yes.
Okay, so if we go to the one on the top left, there's a little tab here called Styles. It's a little mini photo. And there's old filters, new filters, there's loads of filters. If we go to the original, that's what he or she, I don't know what gender the child is, looks like. And if I add one of these filters, I can change the appearance of each photograph in a way that, you know, if this is just for your pre-production, you possibly don't need to do this stuff, but it's quite fun and I like it. So hopefully you'll like it too. And this little guy down here with the lip, I think he'll look good like that. Oh no, I don't like that. That's not good. Let's try this one. Okay, that's cute. And you can adjust the intensity of the filter as well with this little slider thing. Do you get the filters? You see them up here. If you click on a picture, you just get a little window that tells you, that allows you to access the filter menu. Frankly, I would use this if I was making a gift for family as well. I'd make a little comic of someone's birthday and someone's achievements. Very good, most fun way of storyboarding. Actually, I could cheat and show you how I've used it to storyboard a real film. I'll show you that very quickly. Hold on. So let me just share the correct screen. Here. Can you all see this one? It says trade on the top. No? Yes? Bridget, can you see trade?
Yes.
Okay. So I've used a bit of software to make these characters. They don't actually have clothes yet because I've not drawn those on, so excuse. they're all in something called swimwear. So I've used it to make a real film, and it's part of my planning for a real project that hopefully will eventually end up on TV. So it has the scene, it has the dialogue, and it's a real world way of storyboarding that I much prefer to the typical sort of standard way. And I can't draw that well to sit with blank pages and to draw each thing. So it's a real quick way of getting your ideas out without having to draw. You know? Any questions? So are there any more questions? Anything else you can think of?
This is the time to ask, guys, because you should be moving. You should be really deep diving now into your solutions. You have 2 weeks before you have to present to the judges. So any questions that you have, you need to ask Kwame now. We have all the.
Sorry, go on.
Go ahead, Kwame.
What advice would you have for merging animation with live action? That's a good suggestion. And somebody else saying video editing apps. So we posted the video editing apps. The ones I suggested was DaVinci Resolve. Somebody suggested Vimeo, and there are probably others. DaVinci Resolve is free and it's excellent. But I'm sure there are others. iMovie, if you have it or if you can download it, you might be able to get that free. The question before, what advice for merging animation with live action? Yeah, all day long, do it. Why not? What's most important to me is, are you getting your point across? Is the story coming across? If that's true, if going from animation to live action and back again is keeping me engaged with your message, all day long, you can do whatever you like. Advice for doing it is do it well. Focus on your pre-production. Make sure you know when that's going to happen, or you have a plan for how it's going to look. You know, so on your Comic Life storyboard, we would see things that have real people, And then we'd also see things with animated characters, and you'll be able to have a real sense of how those things stitch together. Hopefully that helps. Lee James, any other questions? You guys are good in the chat. Any more? Okay, well, any tips for timing? So I was just about to talk about timing, because for 2 weeks before a presentation, how much time should you spend on pre-production? How much time should you spend on production? How much time should you allow for post-production? When I'm doing bigger filming projects, every day's filming is at least a day's editing for me, because we're filming all day, lots of different things. In your case, it's really difficult to say because you're doing so many different things. Personally, with 2 weeks left, I would allow at least 4 or 5 days to make sure that my pre-production is solid. That means having a storyboard like we've just created, having the people that are going to appear in your work in the right time and at the right place, having emptied your phones, making sure that you have enough space, having planned for any way that you can of getting better sound than you can get from your phone. Ideally, you have a second phone in somebody's pocket or any other way of getting better sound. Please, please care about sound. And all of these little things take time. So I would spend 3 or 4 days, maybe 4 or 5 days on your pre-production, so that when you start, nothing can stop you. You've thought about everything and you're ready to roll. I don't expect that you need to film for more than a day or two, or maybe half of one day and half of another day. So I'm expecting all of the filming to have been completed within 2 or 3 days, assuming that you're not filming all day. So that's, say, 4 days plus 3 days makes 7 days, which leaves you a week to mess around in the edit, to lay out your whole story, then to try and chop it down, then to experiment. What if I move this piece here and that piece there? What about this piece there? What about music? Oh, that text is too much. How can I make the text simpler so that it doesn't have to be on screen for so long? Why don't I just shrink it down and use one word that encompasses a whole theme? And you're going to keep having to tweak that edit. And the pressure is real when you're running out of time. So leave yourself, I would say, at least 5 days to mess around with the edit. Show it to friends, show it to family, get some honest feedback. Make sure that people understand what you're saying. Make sure that they can hear you. Make sure that they get it. And then you can present it, knowing that you've test-driven it. So many people just think, this is great, we love it, send it off, but they've not tested it. All of you know what the subject is, but you need to test it with people that have no idea what you're presenting and see if they understand it. Because if they understand it, then you know that you're in a good place. Is that helpful to do with timing? Nasesha? How am I saying this name? I hope I'm not destroying it. Nasia, apologies. Any other questions at all? Because we're running out of time. Anything else? Maybe
maybe what we could ask is, Kwame's going to do another session. Is there anything, that you would want him to cover off in the second session? Because now you guys are pretty much, I think, thinking, okay, let's get on Comic Life and let's build our story. Because it's sounding to me, from what you're saying, Kwame, that's like the most critical element at this point. Make sure that your story is telling whatever it is that you want to communicate to the people who are going to either be watching your music video, watching your short film or your docudrama or your animation. So make sure that you're connecting with your message So I suspect a lot of people will do that, and some people are going to start shooting. But is there anything that you would want me to do in the second session that's coming up next week? After you guys pretty much, I think, have your story down pat.
I'm wondering if, I'm not sure, oh, hold on, somebody's saying, I'd like if he would cover more on the short docudrama next time. Okay, I'll focus on that. By that time, what I was about to ask is, you will probably have planned your story by then. I'm not sure about how specifically we can go into your specific presentation. What within the docudrama would you like to know, Narissa? Just so I can plan for next time.
Yeah.
Well, with the storyboard, you did some editing and so on. So I wouldn't mind if you did like a bit of a snippet of a short docudrama or so, and give us some like tips and so on, and some tricks as you are editing.
Interesting. So you want a live edit. Okay, so we've had live storyboarding, and you think that we could spend some time looking at a live edit. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can do that. I would probably use my editing software. And actually, the hard bit about editing is not the software, it's actually making the decisions. So I'll try and find something to edit live, just so you get an idea of the process. Something short and quick. I'll think on that. Thank you for that suggestion. And Nasia, tips and tricks for editing would be good as well. I mean, it is helpful to know what software you plan on using to edit, both Nasia and Narissa.
Pardon?
Which software do you think you'll be using for editing?
Well, I've tried many, but Vimeo seems good. I guess I will try the ones that were suggested as well. I didn't get a chance to look at those.
Okay. Yeah, you know, there's a lot of information out there on YouTube as well, where you get to see there's some really talented folk that can do so much with a phone. They really can. It's about how the camera moves. It's about transitions. So let's say, you must have seen it. Let's say that somebody's filming and they're looking at something, and then they hold something and put it across the camera. And then the next day they might be filming something else. And what they do is they put it across the camera this way. And when they edit it together, when this thing goes across the screen, it changes from one image to another. So there's lots of little nice tutorials on YouTube about how you can give your films something quite creative, and that also shows you how to treat them in the edit. I can try and pull some of those together for you as well, in addition to doing a live edit, just so you can hopefully keep your imagination alive for how to make something unique. So I'll do that for Narissa and Nasia. Anyone else? Have I read all of these questions?
Yep, I think we've gone through the chat. So yeah, it seems like a lot of people, I'm thinking that a lot of people are clear on how to actually come up with their story. And then the next challenge is, well, how do I take all of that and put it together so that I get a prototype at the very end that's interesting and exciting and engaging.
Yeah.
So more to come.
Thank you very much for having me, guys, and for giving your time this evening, and best of luck. And I look forward to seeing you again next time.
Thanks,
Kwame.
Kwame. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Really, really appreciate
Thank you
this.
so much for coming.
Really appreciate this. You guys can open up if you want to say thank you, or you can type it in the chat, whichever one. But makes me feel as if I want to be a docudrama maker now, Kwame. You're gonna have to give me some sessions. Okay, we're getting lots of thank yous, a lot of thank yous. This was of great help, very much appreciate. Well, you're seeing all of the thank yous.
Thanks, guys. You're very welcome, and hopefully it's useful.
Yeah. All right. So, guys, our next session is up tomorrow morning.
Note the times. Note the times.
Note the times. It's an early one. Belize 8:30, Jamaica 9:30, Bahamas, Barbados, Grenada TNT, and Haiti 10:30. So, what about Suriname? Not seeing Suriname there. Suriname is what time?
Oh, that they're on Eastern time.
Okay, so Suriname
10:30, yeah,
10:30. Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
And is Nicole still on? Maybe she can. Is Bokang? You want to tell him a little bit about him, Nicole?
Okay, hi guys. So Bokang is from South Africa and he is an animator. So we're starting early tomorrow morning because that's gonna be like 5:30 in the evening for him in South Africa. So he shared his information with us and come ready to jump in like the great work that we have from Kwame today with all the steps for you. And of course, we'll have it recorded so you'll be able to look back on it again. But of course, we're inviting you to come for the morning session so you can ask him questions and see you there.
All right. So that's Bokang tomorrow morning. Bokang from South Africa for all the girls who are doing animation. But as Kwame has been saying, don't limit yourself because most of these modalities require the exact same creative process. It's just, what the final outcome is. And there were girls on tonight who said, well, we want to do an animation, a combination of animation and docudrama using, I guess, real life people as well as animation characters. So I definitely would suggest that everybody comes on tomorrow for this session because there's always something that you can take away from it that's going to be applicable to what you're doing: music video, animation, docudrama, short film, and photo storyboarding as well. Because it just means that if your final modality is photo storyboarding, you're going to go into that in a much deeper dive than what you would use photo storyboarding for to create your story for a film or a music video or a docudrama or an animation. You would be doing much more if your final product is photo storyboarding. So there are lots of things that you can do, especially from tonight's session with Kwame using the comic app to create your photo storyboarding. And you of course would have to upload your own creative content in the form of photography for photo storyboarding. All right.
Oh,
okay.
That's one thing to add.
Yes, Kev, go ahead.
Please, we really appreciate. We have something really special planned for you all on the 24th. We don't want to give away any secrets yet, but if you all could get us some nice group shots of your team, maybe log on to your own personal Zoom and take a screenshot, or if you all can, send some nice shots for us. You can send it, contact us through the notice board or send it email. I know quite a few of you have my WhatsApp. Send it there as well. We'd really appreciate it.
WhatsApp would be awesome, ladies. And I think the cutoff for that is Sunday, right, Kev? To get those.
Yeah, if people can get it to us, we'll really appreciate it. We have something really fun planned for you all for the 24th. I mean, doubling of the excitement from the stuff that's going to be out there for the grand finals.
Okie dokie.
Right. Okay. So can you guys get those photos? Kevin, what's the specs? Did you manage to get the specs so that they know what's expected, or it's just any photo will do at this point?
As clear as possible would be great. Ideally a nice full screen shot. Don't go too fancy. A nice plain background is fine. We'll do the rest. The guys will do the rest of it. As clear as possible, of course, is always best.
Yeah, just get yourselves on Zoom and do a screenshot and send it via WhatsApp.
Right. And we just ask everybody, of course, please have on a t-shirt, no tank tops, that kind of thing. And if you have your individual picture that you've done already, right, Kev, they were saying also, those could be, Bridget, landscape. So if you had those landscape pictures, you can shoot those over right now. And we know that a lot of you have some great pictures already. So see you then.
Yeah.
All right.
Get the team together. Just get your individual pictures. But ideally, we want a team. But as you know, the timeline is very short, and you don't want to miss what's coming on the 24th. So try and get your team on a Zoom call. You guys should be having Zoom sessions if you're going to be ready for the 24th. So on one of those sessions, take a screenshot between now and Sunday.
Zooms or Meets or whatever, Team Meets, Google Meets, whatever they call them. Microsoft Teams, whatever you're all on, yeah.
And if you don't know how to get it to us, just put it in the notice board in the contact us. Is there any other way that they can use the notice board to send those shots to us, Kevin?
We could set up a form for them, but we could always, we'll put out that information on the board.
All right. So check the notice board, guys. All right, it's a wrap. 9:19 here in Barbados, 8:19 in Jamaica, 7:19 in Belize, and the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, 9:19. It's a wrap. Thank you.
It's
3:19
a.m. in Switzerland.
I don't know where you're up, but go to bed.
Oh yeah, winner. I am a winner. Almighty make me know. Oh, I am a winner. Oh yeah, oh, I am a winner. I am a winner from the Caribbean. Oh, oh, I am a winner. Oh yeah, oh. Get a dream, perceive it, conceive it, believe it, you'll achieve it. Nothing can stop you except how you
Why
see
did the Mexican throw his wife off the bridge?
You're not less than nobody else. Know that you're great. You too can do it. Better get to it. You meant to heard these lines before. Let me remind you once more. No, you can do it. Get up and show the greatness inside you, baby. I am a winner. Almighty make me know. Oh, I am a winner. Oh, yeah. Oh, I am a winner. I am a winner. I am from Trinbago. Oh, I am a winner. Oh, yeah. Oh. We what you got, show them what you got. Greatness lies deep inside us. Keep reaching for the top, we grow